After a long day of being pulled in every direction, the last thing anyone wants to think about is what's for dinner. That's where Schwann's can help, with a variety of real food choices, frozen to lock in freshness. From ready-made meals, premium meats and side dishes, to vegetables, ice cream, and more. Schwann's foods go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours, so you can pull off a delicious meal in no time at all. Ordered, delivered, done. That's homemade easy. To help simplify mealtime, visit schwans.com.
Right now, you can get both Sprint's unlimited plan and the all-new Samsung Galaxy S10 included for just $35 per month per line for 5 lines. All you need is approved credit and an 18-month lease. No trade-in required. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1.
Phone $15 a month after $22.50 a month. Credit apply within 2 bills. If canceled earlier, remain balance due. Unlimited basic after $630.20. Pay $32 per month per line for 5 lines with auto pay. Data deprioritization during congestion. Speed maximums. Use rules and restrictions apply.
I'll chime in. Hello there, this is Jim the Keys bartender coming to you from Key Largo. I'm here with Jenna Kelly. I remember that.
Hello.
Tyler Kelly, Damon, and Joe.
Papa Joe.
Papa Joe.
Yes.
He's not old enough for me to call Papa Joe.
No, well, because you two are the exact same age, which we just noticed when you brought it over.
I'm not going to call.
I'm
not going to. That would be
silly.
Yeah. That would be silly.
So are we?
I mean, it's possible. It is possible to be a father. It is possible to be the father of someone and be almost the same age if you consider taking the stem cells and cloning. As soon as after conception occurs. It would only have to be a couple days later. So that would be the parent. That would be the parent one, I guess.
Well, then maybe he's somehow a parent stem cell to my sons. They're the ones that call him Papa.
Yeah. Okay. So. Well, that's nice. It's a sign of respect. Yeah. Well, this episode is episode 156.
156.
Yeah, and it's called I Want a Big One. And we're posting it on it. There's a guy holding a big ass, I guess it's an 80-ounce lager glass.
Oh.
Drinking one. You ever seen those big ones?
Yes. Is it like one from Deutschland? Good giant beer stein?
No, some asshole from Cleveland probably or something like that.
No. But everybody wants a big one.
Not that assholes are Cleveland, known for Cleveland. It could have been Philadelphia. I'm from Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, wherever it's from. But it's just a big. And when you're drinking out of a really big container, you do look like an asshole sometimes. It's like, oh well, if it's the only thing you have.
Like right? Drinking right out of the pitcher.
There was a place in Philly called. They had Mug Night. And on Mug Night, you get to bring in your own mug, and it couldn't have a spout in it. Couldn't have a spout or anything in it. So I know one guy just took a plastic pitcher and cut the top of it off to get rid of the spout. And he's drinking from a plastic pitcher.
Do you ever see those guys that do the contests with that? Like, they just take that whole pitcher and just, like, tip it back and open their throats, and it's just gone? Like, how do they do that?
I downed, I think, up to 25 ounces in one time.
Oof.
But
I bet a few guys that would just tilt back and open their throat.
Yeah, that's tilt.
Oh, this is a
Joe just said he's met a few guys that would tilt their heads back and just open their throats.
Well, that's exactly what you do. That's exactly what you do.
They didn't get a big one though.
When you're drinking mass quantities.
Joe, you really should come over here and grab a
there.
Microphone,
we're going right there.
Because the listeners cannot hear you over there.
Yeah. If we had a power, maybe I should put a powered mic off to the side, so we just pick up. But that would pick up all the ambient sound. Not so much here though. No. We would just hear the ice machine. It's a beautiful night in Key Largo. It's 71 degrees when I left my house. It's semi, almost clear night.
Semi-clear.
Yeah. It's a beautiful breezy night, and it doesn't get much nicer down there. No skeeters or anything, but. I've been getting a lot of people that say they want a drink, and then you start making a drink, and they go, put it in a big glass, a tall glass. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to get
more.
Most of the time, it's more alcohol, but we're always, if you're any bartender worth their salt, they're just going to put more mixer in it.
It's the same pour.
The same pour, right? Yeah. So, and some people want that. They want it in tall glass because they want the same amount of liquor but more mix, which is fine.
But then wouldn't you do like a double if it was in a tall glass to have the same amount of liquor?
Yeah.
You would have to order what, a tall double?
Tall double. I mean, if you put a double in a regular glass, it's almost like a rocks pour. But you're really not supposed to give over 3 ounces of liquor to anybody at one time if you care to adhere to most of the laws in the country.
Guidelines?
No, well, people get fucked up real quick. And we did talk about fucked up people last time. But it's all about portions. And it's on tomorrow is prime rib night, and people say, I want a king cut. I want a king cut, but I don't want to pay for it. So when you just order 2, and I'll just tell them not to cut it in 2.
Okay, so this is segueing into dumb questions. Mm-hmm. Really? Because you know how people
we weren't
there's no stupid question.
No, we do have dumb questions.
We do have dumb questions, but there's people say, "Oh, there's no stupid questions." Yes, there is. There's a lot of really stupid questions.
How small is your small salad? And that's not stupid. How small is your small salad? And then I would look at them. It says it's on a 8-inch plate. It holds approximately 750 grams of salad on it. And I say 750 grams because most people don't understand. I mean, it's not 750 grams. It's probably only like 250 grams, or not even that. Because that would be a quarter of a kilogram, which would be a half a pound of salad. Which is a lot of lettuce.
That'd be a lot of lettuce.
That would be a lot of lettuce. I'd say 100.
I can tell you from personal experience,
100 grams.
The dinner portion of the blackened chicken Caesar is more than most humans can eat in one sitting.
Oh, at the
catch.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey, you know what? They do appreciate you doing that. And I went to a little meeting with this company on Tuesday prior to about
right before the podcast,
getting sponsorship and stuff like that. But we're always going to be pushing our friends' businesses, whether we get compensated from them or not, because we like them. So we will get into the stupid questions.
Have to get into stupid questions.
But I did have someone ask me, and I get this all the time. They go, "Oh, you do a comedy podcast?" And I said, "Well, I call it a comedy podcast, but it depends. Some people
may or may not think
it's funny." But they say, "What do you listen to? What comedy podcasts do you listen to?" And I say, "I don't listen to them." What? It's not because I don't think any of them are worthy of listening to. I don't want to be derivative.
No.
I don't want to start doing a Joe Rogan bit or a Mark Maron. WTF, Mark Maron?
Yep.
Brilliant. And there's a lot of brilliant comedians that have podcasts, but
we'd rather be unique.
Yeah. Right. And you're always, supposedly Shakespeare was derivative of Ben Jonson. Was that the guy's name? His competitor and his friend? But there was a lot of his literature could have been taken from someone else. Robin Williams was known in the comedy world, and I know a bunch of, and I know it's ill to speak of the dead, but a lot of times when Robin Williams would show up in the back of a comedy club, guys would pull out their C-level material, and they just didn't want to imagine everything you do where you work. What is your your passion? What you do, and someone would just take it. Now, I mentioned this on previous podcasts. When someone come up and you do something, you work really hard, and these guys work very hard coming up with a 20-minute set, a 30-minute set, and the bigger they get, they go into 1 hour, right? And they work really hard to develop the material. But if you're just coming up and you're rising up, and someone like Robin Williams comes and takes your material and then says it on a late night show, it is his. If he doesn't say, I got this from someone else, it is his. And you could have been doing that material for 2 years. And people will say, well, no, Robin Williams told that joke. So you listen from Robin Williams. And that's the shitty thing about that. And that's the reason why I'm afraid of it. It's just like when years ago, Joe Biden got in trouble when he first ran for president in 88 or 92 about he plagiarized a speech from a Labour Party guy in Britain from like 50 years earlier, and people said they found it, and it kind of poked a hole in his ambitions.
I don't want to jump into politics because then you'll go on like a political rampage, but didn't Melania Trump have the exact same situation where
I would be the one to jump on that.
I
would jump on it, but it wasn't Melania. It was her speechwriter, because she did. I'm sure Melania didn't write that.
But they
I mean,
took
it's
the
not her native
information
tongue. And I'm not
almost
saying she's not.
verbatim
Questions whether she's smart or
from
not.
Michelle
but
Obama's
I'm not, and I'm not, and far be it for me to defend them. But in that case, I think that was innocent from her part, and I think the person they hire, their hires have been weak. They've been very weak, except for the military guys. The military guys were very good. General Mattis, who's gone. Jack Kelly, John Kelly, is gone. All the generals are pretty much gone. McMaster, gone. They were all capable ones, but they had to hire like B team or C team people that don't have experience writing speeches.
So
you ever hear Trump give a speech on on The Apprentice?
There was one that they did. I think it was on Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, one of the two, where Donald Trump's speech, they laid it side by side with
Mussolini?
No, with
Sorry, Joe's laughing.
Hitler?
What the heck is her name? It was Legally Blonde.
Stalin. Legally Blonde. Oh yeah.
When she actually graduated college
And accepted her speech.
her acceptance speech. It was almost verbatim, word for word, from Legally Blonde. So obviously,
which is kind of,
you have somebody that's 30 to 30.
You know what they could do this one?
They'll
do a remake on it, and they could use the same script and call it Legally Bald.
You know what they'll do
because of the comb over, right?
I'm surprised that, I mean, even like usually The Simpsons predicts everything, but I'm surprised.
Yeah, they predicted.
Right. So
they predicted
like
Trump presidency.
They did. Even the elevator scene with like Trump and Obama going down the elevator looks crazy. Yeah. But it'll be funny when you see like the Legally Blonde speech up there, like cartoonized with Trump's head on it. Oh my God.
Well, I got Family Guy and all those things.
Yes.
But where we starting? So that part of it, we're back to derivative and plagiarizing. That's what I worry about. And if we do come up thing, I try to come up with material that comes in to the bar.
Yeah, right.
And it's unique to the Keys. I mean, you got that guy, the hijacker.
Yeah.
Yankee Doodle.
Wankadoodle
Dandy.
Oh
no,
Wanka.
Hickory Dickory Douche.
Hickory Dickory Douche, and then Wanker.
Hickory Dickory Douche
Dandy
is the is also the skater douche.
Yes, the skater douche.
I think so. So, and
we
I would
did Moby Douche.
Moby Douche.
Right.
And along that, whenever I tell people about what I hear you're on the radio. That's what I get from some of the older. I hear you're on the radio. I said, in your eyes, yes, I am, but the signals aren't transmitted that way. It's a podcast. And they go, what's a podcast? And they have no idea. And they say, well, why don't you talk about things for older people? And I said, older people don't know how to find a podcast. I mean, I'm sure there are older people. You could do a 1950s comedy hour and stuff like that. And if you had some kind of promotional tool that get the word out to them, you could get it out to the 50, 70-year-old people that know how to get a podcast.
Which makes me think of like Garrison Keillor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But my mom listens
He was
to
around forever.
And she, FG, she listens to it all the time. And she's 71. So she can find it. Other people can find it.
Oh, well.
So, Jim... So I'm
leaving you out high and dry, aren't I?
No, you can leave me high and dry.
I am.
Oh
God.
I'm very excited about getting into the stupid questions thing because I have a great segue into it.
Okay, well, you know what? We'll get ahead to because where I got the stupid question. It's with a phone call.
Usually, you're not the one that sits there and reads all that. Usually, you get off on tangents and then I get you back on. So this time, we're going to do it.
I was going to show it to you. I was going to show this to you.
Yes.
It started out with a phone call, and it was at the bar. It was great because I had witnesses.
Okay.
And I wrote it down verbatim. And I answered the phone. Hello, this is the catch. Jim speaking. How may I help you? Hello, are you open? And I go, yes. I thought you opened at 5. It was 11:30 or 12 o'clock at this time, right? I said, it's not 5. It's 11:30. I said, we open at 11. We'll be open at 5 also. So I figured this guy was kind of confused, so I kept on throwing lots of information. We will be open from 11 to 5 and then 5 to 10 continually. So don't take that 5 as the closing time. And the guy goes, do I need reservations? I said, we have open seating. Come right in and sit. You have a large party? No. And then he goes, well, I have a couple more questions. And then I go real quiet. I go, this is a recording. If you'd like to leave a message. And I'm standing there, and the guy goes, hello, hello, hello. I said, I'm just kidding. He says, you got me there. I said, I know I did. I know I did. When someone answers the phone and is lively, hi, this is Jim, this is Catch, and all that stuff, yes, we're open.
Right, but you got
it sounds like a stupid one, but it's not stupid. We are open because a lot of restaurants people, the cleaning crew does not answer the phone.
I wouldn't think so.
Hello, this is Manuel.
If they're not local, that means they had to Google it.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes up, the Catch Restaurant, the phone number, but it also has business hours.
Yep.
It usually just says open now, closes at 10.
It's been open. We've never were a time where we just open at 5. Is it the only days we're closed, and it happens to, I'm sure there's a lot of other restaurants. I mean, some restaurants are open every day of the year. We're closed on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter.
And that's it.
That's it. It's at any other time we're open. You know, the last time Irma, we were closed.
Well,
So a hurricane. If there's a hurricane coming in and you want to have some oysters, you're shit out of luck.
Sorry.
So that started the that started the stupid question thing.
So I have
and
a
that
really
was
great one.
Yeah, what?
A really great one. So we have another house, right? A little house that my adult sons live in.
Yeah.
And they are moving back to Minneapolis at the end of the month. So I listed the other house for rent.
Yeah.
And the title of the listing says 22 mile marker 101
Yeah.
on a canal, furnished. That's what it says.
Oh, and they're calling up.
So I'm getting 17 messages I got the very first day that I listed this house. And the questions I'm getting are, what mile marker is it at?
Really?
101. Just like the header says, right? Is there dockage? Well, it's on a canal.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's 40 feet of dockage to be precise. Plus, I posted photos. Then I get another question. Is it furnished? It's a 2-2 on a canal, mile marker 101. Furnished in the title. Do these people not read? Why are you asking me the same question? Exactly
I mean,
what
a
it says
small
in there.
possibility someone gave them the number. Oh, there's one.
It's
But
not
why
even-
wouldn't they look at the?
it's not
I mean, they
even-
had to look at the ad. They had to look at the ad.
The only
no
way.
one gets a number
Well,
and
it
say
was through
this
Facebook
one's
messaging.
Right. So these are people that
Yeah.
have read it, and I said, for details or more information to see the property, please PM me.
What
So
if
these are all PMs.
they're illiterate?
And they're not reading. So
They can read numbers.
really,
101
I
is the
mean,
number.
and I felt like relisting
Well, they don't
it.
know what it applies to. If the mile marker is CMM,
I felt like
they can
going
think it's
back.
a radio station,
I felt
right?
like going
102
back.
Key 102
And changing the
Key
listing.
Largo Radio.
MM101. So I felt like going back and changing the listing to be more detailed. 2/2 means 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. If you ask me this question, I'm not going to rent to you. Now, on a canal means water, which means there's a dock on that water,
Yeah.
right? So yes, there's dockage. Right?
They could call up and ask all sorts of
furnished
questions. You know what?
means-
Maybe we should call up some of the people and say, do you have 2 bathrooms? Are there doors?
Are there doors on the bathrooms?
Um,
Do you
is
have
there
shower
doors?
heads
Is there shower heads?
in those bathrooms?
Do you have to bring your own electricity?
Right. Okay. So
What
then
that means that?
I got this. This is the other thing that I have deduced from all of the questions I got. Right. Now I'm a local finance professional, right? So I have the ability to pull people's credit, and I have the ability to take a full application and look at that history, right?
Yeah.
Now, the
With their
people that are
approval, right?
asking me, are the utilities included? I have now figured out why they are asking me.
Because
that.
they can't get it.
Because they have bad credit. So in order for them to put utilities in their names, they would require a deposit. So
If you can't get utilities without a deposit, you're probably not going to make. They probably don't.
then
pay
you're
the rent.
probably not going to be able to pay the rent.
Yeah.
Right. So of course, I'm still fielding these minimal questions
Do you
about
like dogs?
There's another one. Okay, so I did not put anything in the listing about pets, right? Because it's on a case-by-case basis. It's not that big of a deal. I'm allergic to cats. I don't care if somebody has a cat, but I'm not going to advertise, go ahead and bring your cats, because I don't want 17 cats in the house, right? So the question
I get one of those fucking hoarders.
Oh my God, right? I don't need all that.
Got room for 500 stacks of newspapers.
And the other part, I was like getting back to that furnished thing, right? So it says furnished, the very last word on the listing, furnished. So is it furnished? Yep, same stuff you see in the pictures, honey.
I would go, hey, do you have a freezer in there? Is it one of those lay down freezers? Can you put human body parts in? Because that'll lead up to the next one. Can you fit a whole body in it?
Yeah. I mean, here's a good question I got. Is there a carport? That's a good question. No, there's not a carport. Because, of course, from any of the pictures, I never mentioned that. Yeah. But the lady who asked me about animals did not say, do you have a pet deposit? Or do you allow pets? Do whatever. The question she sent me was, do you like dogs? So I replied, yep, I love dogs. 1 dog, 50-pound max, is all insurance allows. Thanks. With a snotty response.
In a voice?
In a snotty text response.
A snotty?
A snotty thanks. Not even a capital T, which should auto default.
Wait a second. Are you suggesting that writing a text without any type of
if you can't
capitalizing?
If you can't spell and you have bad grammar, I don't take you seriously. I'm a professional. Anyway, but
like Samsung, the Android has swipe technology, and what happens? People don't hit the individual letters. You ever do that? Who uses Android? You? Anybody here?
No.
You could just they go thanks. You go like this. You go boom, boom, boom. You do it. That's the reason why all the time. It looks like I have heart, but when I'm writing, my writing is excellent. But when you're using Android, you just slide. You're what you do is like the spell thanks. You go to THANK, boom, and it goes to it, and you do it real quick. And sometimes it picks the wrong one.
A comment.
So it goes saying like, hey, listen, I'm coming over at 6 tonight, and it could accidentally come in like this. I'm going to go and fuck your wife. I'm just kidding. That's not going to. That's very advanced technology. But that's it. Oh my God! I'm coming over 6, and I meant to say that, but I'm not going to kill your dog. I promise.
We have a sales guy that does that, or he does the talk to text, and he doesn't even have an accent really, but every time he talks to text me, it's wrong. It's got every word. The words don't make no sense. I mean, he's literally said, "Jenna, I need a purple kaleidoscope," and I just go, "Okay."
What was that?
Probably a bill of sale for something, but it came out purple kaleidoscope.
I like it.
Jose. Yeah. Jose Mir.
Well, okay. Well, within we're going to stay on this.
I liked my stupid question thing because it really led into what I've been dealing with for the last 3 days.
Someone came in at the same time after the phone call, and they were asking, "You worked at Gilbert's?" They said to me. Didn't you work at Gilbert's? Did you work for the people that were selling the timeshare? I said no, but they wanted me to do the timeshare. And back in 2008, 2009, we all know what the economy was like. Not only regular real estate was going south, but timeshare and condos were tanking completely. There was nothing. They were foreclosing on them. Any properties that were partially built got their funding pulled. So the people that were running the condo building at Gilbert's, they wanted to sell deeded dock space for about $150,000 to $200,000 for a dock space, and timeshares, and they wanted me to get my real estate license so I could come and work with them. And I can't believe they were saying, "Yeah, we're selling a lot. I said, "You're going out of business. You can't even build your own your spec place that you're going to show off the model units." And they go, "No, come on there." And it's like someone begging you, right? I was just recalling, it's just, at that time, timeshare, I thought timeshare, I apologize if anybody got into that. Timeshare is the ability to be able to sell a property over 100% of its value. So you could sell it up to 250% if you break it down to how much each person pays for their, let's say it's their minimum buy is 2 weeks. They split it up to 26 units, And those 26 units, let's say that unit is worth $250,000, they could sell them for $500,000. So it's like any house. Like if you turn this house into timeshare, if this house here is worth $400,000, $450,000, $1 million. If it was timeshare, it would be $1 million now. So I said, well, people are really figuring this out now, and it'd be akin to being like right at the end of the Pony Express when the railway cars, the trains are going by, and someone said, you know what you should be doing? You should be signing up for the Pony Express. Wasn't that a fucking train that just went by? Isn't that a lot faster? Or when the Zeppelin's coming into Lakehurst, New Jersey, the Hindenburg, people say, you know what? We need another mate on that ship. Right there, the one that's coming in right now, right before it exploded. Or, working for Western Union, when there's telephones all over. Western Union was a telegram. That's all they did, telegrams. And it was burgeoning. But people don't understand it when it's dying, like getting into newspapers. People say, well, we're looking for salesmen for the newspaper. Holy shit. It's getting less and less each year. Why do people even speculate that? It's open up a coal mine maybe. Right now, that's probably one of the ones. Or say, I'm going to build a coal-fired power station down here. And it's not political. I know it sounds political and stuff like that. These are antiquated technologies or ideas, and people are still pitching to them like it's the next best thing. I mean, they're the opposite of the tech geniuses. They're the mentally handicapped. And they're really good selling at sizzle.
Real estate, to tell you the truth.
What?
I feel the same way about some real estate.
It's like selling the real estate in one of those islands in the Pacific that's, next year it's going to be underwater. Mm-hmm. So listen, we got waterfront property. Well, the island's waterfront property, really. There's not going to be any property left in the next couple of years. So why are you trying to sell me this? Or sell me, can you pick anything? Come on, there's other things. It's like the Titanic. You're going to get selling rooms on the Titanic right when the band's playing on the deck. The band's playing on the deck and everyone's loading on the ship. We can give you an upgrade to a stateroom right now that the Astors are getting out of it. You're in the hold. Of course we are sinking, but you'll be way up there for a little while, at least another 20 minutes. And it's a pretty stately stateroom.
It's very nice.
I mean, yeah, I guess you guys don't see it as much because as a 55-year-old man, I used to get things like that all the time. People talking to me and says, you know what? Why don't you come and work with us? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Whatever they're doing is circuit boards. I did circuit boards.
You did circuit boards.
And circuit boards were, there's still circuit boards out there, but they're integrated circuits. They're printed circuits. There's micro circuits. They don't use these big ass boards. When I was selling circuit boards, and this was in the mid-90s, I went to a company that was selling the hardware to the FAA for their air traffic controllers. And they wanted this technology I never even heard of, but began in the 1950s. And this was the 90s. And it's called wire wrap boards. And what they do is they put a bunch of metal pins in, and they create their own circuits by putting wire to a different pin and things like that. It's really fucking old technology. And that's what they were using for air traffic control.
Makes me think of those old craft boards that you'd make in school where they'd make you nail a bunch of stuff and then wrap strings around it.
Yeah, that was it.
Right.
And I couldn't believe that. And there are places that I work that they still write paper tickets. They don't have computers. And they tell you, it's just as fast. Just doing it. Oh, really? Doing it 3 times.
Do it the old way.
Don't trust me. You adding it 3 times. You're not going to make a lot. Yeah, you're going to make a shitload of mistakes.
Okay, so I have to shout out to Alyssa because we picked on her. Yeah, Alyssa Lanson. We picked on her quite a bit dealing with her sewer problem on Tuesday.
And that went on 2 days.
And and she had problems with it again, the next day. But anyway, she said that she finally was able to listen to the podcast last time, and she laughed out loud. And of course, her daughter was like, "Are they picking on you on the radio, Mom?" I'm like, yes, but it was hilarious. So thank you, Lissa, for being a good sport. And I have to pick on her for one more thing, because earlier today she must have had soup for lunch today, Campbell's soup, I'm guessing, and she sent me a message that said, is it weird if my pee smells like Campbell's soup?
Oh, is it asparagus soup?
She said, "Is it weird if my pee smells
because
like
asparagus makes your pee smell?"
And my
weird.
response was, "Yes." That's weird.
There's a lot of sulfites in there.
So her pee smelled like Campbell's soup today. So
why is she smelling her pee?
I don't know.
Well, it kind of heat rises.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I understand if you're like a long haul trucker and you got your Gatorade bottle, right?
Maybe
and you lose your lid.
Maybe she got stuck on the phone with somebody for a long time. And
how do can women do that?
Can women do what?
The shiwi.
Well, if you get a shiwi.
What's a shiwi?
The shiwi. We talked about putting a shiwi on the big boat and on the yacht. It's an adapter
so that a woman could urinate standing.
Yes.
Well, they can still urinate standing. It's just be a lot messier.
A bottle. It cleans it up and turns it into a stream, so they feel like a guy would for, I don't know, however long.
It's a cup on it. It's a cup with a little hole on it with a hose.
It's a vagifunnel.
It is a vagifunnel. That's the new name for the shiwi.
Well, how do you is it strapped on?
No,
is it like a strap on?
Hold it there.
It's made out of silicone or rubber.
Oh, you hold it over it?
Hold it there, and it's got like little finger indentions, so you can hold it up.
Is there a vibrating model?
I'm sure there will be. Now that you mentioned.
I'm sure it'll affect your aim when you start getting stimulated. Start peeing all over the place. And then girls can feel the power of being able to direct their pee on the lid. They're passive aggressive.
Or on the toilet, because that seems to happen at work an awful lot.
Oh, yeah?
Women,
what do you call dry pee?
What do you mean, what do I call dry pee?
Do you know when it's dry pee on that toilet lid? It's called pilch.
Oh, dried urine that's actually on the toilet
seat? Pilch. You didn't know that?
I did not.
Yeah. You can tell how much, if people hydrate enough.
If you had given me more time, I would have Urban Dictionary'd that like an upper decker.
No, pilch is an old one. Actually, pilch goes back to the 70s, I think. We had on right after I'm going to go in. I'm going to tell you another thing. We had a nice older couple come in, and they were going on and on. They came in to catch, and they were going on and on how much they loved the oysters Rockefeller. And I was busy all day. It was, how my Monday's just a long day.
Yes.
So, and I hadn't eaten. And they came in around 3 o'clock, and I just wanted to eat. And they ordered oysters Rockefeller. It came out, and they said, these oysters don't smell right. And I go and smell it, and I said, that's Asiago cheese. Your Asiago cheese. How do you pronounce it? Asiago cheese. And I said, that's what you're smelling. And I said, I do not like oysters. These smell exactly like oysters Rockefeller. And they go, oh, we can't eat it. So I took them, and I said, okay. And I just realized, I said, oh, I have to eat. And they were the only ones there. I said, oh, you're going to have a drink? Do you want anything else? No. So I took them, and within view of them, 25 feet over, I would go to the employee break table. I said, I'll be back in 5 minutes. And I sit down and eat them. I mean, they come over, and they start asking. They go, how are they? I said, they're delicious. They're delicious. And I said, you can check back in 6 hours if you want, because that's normally if, you eat something really bad. It's about 6 to 10 hours. You'll find out. And I didn't get sick. They were delicious. And they're looking at me, and I know in the back of their head they're thinking, would we be able to order them again? And they could order them. They could have ordered them from me. I wouldn't have taken it because they didn't know the difference between. I wouldn't have taken the order and put it in. I'm sorry if you don't know the difference between the smell of cheese and bad oysters. Then that's it. It smelled just like an oyster that was cooked, and I was just saying, and they were delicious too. I said, oh, it's horrible. It's horrible to have this. If you have a doubt, what the fuck are you going to do? But I couldn't do that again because I have a responsibility to the business. I can't keep on making orders and them not eating. Right. And I can't sit there and keep on eating oysters Rockefeller all day, even though they give me unlimited food.
Yes, but
I have that all the time. People say, I don't like that. And it's like, give it back. Don't touch it. Give it back. Give it back to me. I'm eating it.
else about it. Maybe she was trying to get her husband to eat oysters to enhance his
aphrodisiac.
I think you got to eat them raw. You got to eat them raw.
Oh, it's
That's
only
right.
raw?
Raw.
Oh, yes. Papa is saying yes, only raw.
Okay. Now, do you have an Alexa chatbot? Do you have a Alexa?
Do not.
Do you?
We do have an Alexa, but we keep the microphone off.
Do you ever use the? Do you ever use the chat? Let's chat.
Well, with the microphone off, we'd have to walk over to it. And
no, when it's on, like
I don't like it. I don't want one in the house. I never have. It was a gift, and
all you have to do is unplug it because it doesn't have an internal power.
I know, but I don't need it. It's not that I don't want it. I don't need it. I have my phone. My phone's permanently attached to my hip.
And you have Siri.
We use it for music, and we hook our sound system to it, and we'll just ask for it to play a different genre of music, and it's great. It's great. Turn the volume up, turn it down, and that stuff. But every so often, when my wife's jealous, she thinks that's my girlfriend because it uses the Alexa voice, but they have 4 different chatbots. They have a contest going. It's an artificial intelligence contest. And I dispute people worried about artificial intelligence being able to take over. The fuck? Every time I get on, they go, is this James? And I've had the conversation with him 10 times, the same chatbot. And they go, yes, it is James. Oh, it's good to hear from you again. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. So I think, oh, you remember our previous conversation because you are a fucking computer. You should be able to remember everything I said. And probably go back and do research on some of the things and say, Jim, you're a fucking liar or you're an idiot or saying it doesn't do any of that stuff. It doesn't even remember what I like. It keeps on going. Jim, would you like to talk about gaming? I said, no, for the 5th time, I don't game. I say, I like history, military history. I like trivia. I like some movies, and that's it. And they keep on asking me, do you have a pet? Yes, for the 10th time, I do have a pet. The pet's a little dog. Blah, blah, blah. Same person. I swear to God, artificial intelligence is at the point of a advanced stage Alzheimer's patient. That's where it is right now. And these are the ones that are winning the contest.
I have a really good one for you because back when GPSs first came out, you could get one and put it in your car and mount it, right? And the default is always a female voice.
Tom.
Right? Like a tom or just a, yes. So, of course, my first husband, the dad of all my sons, got this GPS in his car. Yeah. And he put it in there, and he thought that was the greatest thing in the world, and it tells you where to go, and then, recalculating if you take a wrong turn, whatever. Yeah. And, of course, the default is in a female's voice. His current wife made him change the default voice to a man's voice because she was upset that he was getting directions from a woman.
Okay, yeah, Abby says that about me when I'm talking to her. I'm saying like this. I mean, obviously, if they can't answer a question, remember dog, they're not going to be able to talk dirty enough to you to get you to masturbate.
And if you ask Siri,
unless you're a Mato Gar, right? Unless you're a Mato Gar, because he can walk and masturbate on the way to it. And
True.
Yeah,
True.
And I'm sorry, Amato, but you opened yourself to this
really did.
Ridicule.
Yeah.
That's our walking masturbator.
Yeah, that's the walking. Who was also caught masturbating, I hear, right in the bushes or something
outside of Marriott
hotel, outside the hotel.
Marriott,
Again or before?
Right before that, I guess.
You know why he's able to masturbate like that? Because he stayed at a Days Inn. What was that one you said?
I thought it
what's
was
the one?
Because he ate a bunch of.
No, what's that one? What's that hotel? Holiday Inn Express. He stayed in a Holiday Inn Express, and he can masturbate doing anything now. I think it's amazing.
Hey, bada book, bada boom.
Bada bunk, bada. What else?
Bada
bada book, bada.
Bada boom.
Bada yank, bada boom, bada yank.
Yeah.
Bada yank.
We hadn't bought the yank yet.
Yeah.
he got impatient.
So, and the wrap, the last one before we start freewheeling, we'll talk about this movie I saw. Okay. My Friend Dahlmer.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Jeffrey Dahlmer.
It was about Dahlmer during his high school year, and the people, the guys that he befriended him are kind of like geeky guys, but they're kind of cool, and they're using him as a prop, and they're making him into he's a total spaz, right? So, I mean, if they interview these guys, they may be partially responsible, but you could tell Dahmer's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, kind of.
And But they're showing him by himself sometimes. So unless this is from his own words, right? Dahmer interviewed, because I can probably, they said it's based on true events, but when he's sitting by himself, in the end, you're just watching these characters and they're all looking at him. They go, "Wow, something's really wrong with him." Really?
Yeah.
They noticed.
They even interviewed his father, I believe, too. They had a bunch of other things.
His mother had some crazy shit going on with him, and I'm sure there's people like that down here.
Well, he was
similar.
from Wisconsin, so it was a big deal where I was from. It was just a John,
He wanted to make sex zombies. He drill holes in their heads.
He did drill holes in their heads, and he poured acid into the holes in the heads.
Well, his
while
idea
they were
was
still alive.
He was trying to get
he was trying to get them
disable the part of the brain that willpower.
Right.
He just thought he would get to it, which much like a Nazi scientist.
Yeah.
They probably
he was a Mengele. He was a Mengele.
So, but one of his friends, I started noticing he's wearing overalls all the time. And the soon time I seen him wear the overalls like 3 times in high school, junior, senior. I go, and this is 1979. I was into the. I didn't say. I saw the guy the 3rd time he said it. I just go, "Fucking nerd." I said it out loud, and then, as soon as I said that, I felt like a hypocrite, because I used to wear overalls when I was younger, 12 and 13. And the guy even wore overalls to the prom, an overall formal tuxedo, white bow tie, white overalls and stuff. The guy was really married to the idea of overalls.
I only liked him for when my kids were real little, because if they would run away, you could just grab the back straps.
What are you saying? It's just like leotards and stuff like that. You got to take a shit. You got to take you're taking it up from up top.
Unless you get the ones with the flap.
That's
right. The overalls with the flap.
That wasn't the overalls with the flap. That's the underwear with the flap. That's the underwear with the flap and the thing. And that's disgusting, because if you ever get the squirts, there's some splashback that comes back. The smashies. What the smashies?
The smashies, you didn't have little babies. The smashies are when there is so much that goes into that diaper, and then they sit down, or they run around, or they play, or they jump around, and then instead of it staying in the diaper, it squeezes its way out and goes all the way up their backs. Yeah. That's the smashies.
Well, I was thinking about it. Think about if you're at that time. I guess overalls were kind of in, because, but now you think you got farmers. That's number 1, farmers. Number 2, the comedian Gallagher, and some of our younger viewers.
But he's the one that he smashes shit, right? He's
smashes
a
watermelons,
guy? Okay.
all that shit. A gang member from the roller skating. Well, they weren't all. It's funny, because I was watching this movie, and I thought about the gang that was wearing overalls in the Warriors, and don't you know? And I'm going to say after the end of this, what happened. It's very ironic. And then number 4, the last one, another person that would wear overalls would be a friend of Jeffrey Dahlmer. That would be right there. That would make perfect sense.
That's a given.
But right after I was done that, I'm looking through the channel, and the fucking Warriors is playing. 5 minutes before that. 5 minutes before the scene where they're going into the train station, and the guy's on his roller skates. Stupid roller skate. There's steps all over the fucking New York City subway. If you haven't been there, roller skates are the shittiest thing to go on in New York City. Right. In the subway system with the steps. The guy can see the guy right before he's trying to be intimidating, holding on to the handle, the railing, and walking down ever so gently.
Wasn't the old thug thing to do with the overalls was to have the one that was undone? Yeah.
What do you mean a thug thing?
It was a thug thing,
a hillbilly thug.
No, the gangy thugs, back when.
Well, that's just what you saw.
Right.
What do you mean?
That's what you saw. But
I never remember gangs with overalls.
There was
music videos.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
And Beat It? In Beat It? There was a bunch of guys?
Rappers, and they would have
they wear overalls?
Overalls, and then there was one that was always undone.
I missed that whole thing right there.
Was it Run DMC? I don't know if it was. I don't think it's Run DMC, but
I just thought but I'm watching the Warriors. You had the guys painted up they had the grease paint on their face, and they're baseball players. They're walking around with the baseball bats, which made a lot of sense. I don't know about the face paint, get your face painted all up. And then you had the violent lesbians that can't shoot straight because they had them in their clubhouse and they had a gun, and the girls pull out a gun and start shooting at the guys, and they don't hit any of them. And they go, fuck, you see them at the end, fuck, we missed. And then you had the whole big black gang of martial artists. But you never see them really do anything. They're walking around with their pipes and their things, it's kind of reminiscent of Anchorman when they had their little gang fight and shit like that. And you don't see any of that stuff. And I thought, wow, if we had gangs like that was kind of like a take on Warriors was Escape from New York, kind of like that one where Kurt Russell was in, where the president's plane crashes in New York City and has to get him out. He has to fight different people. No one saw Escape from New York?
I'm not a big movie person.
You're not? Okay. Well, I mean, Key Largo, if we had gangs, we could have the fishermen.
Yeah.
Fishermen, they could have they could walk around with poles and throw lures at you and shit like that.
The tour guides versus the charter captains.
Or Mexican restaurant workers.
They wear different color buffs
to
keep the sun off their face. One's all red, one's all blue.
Yeah,
it's like the Bloods and the Crips of the ocean.
What other things could you have?
I don't know.
You could have the gift shop workers.
You could have the gift shop workers. You could have the bartenders.
Bartenders every place. They're bartenders. Bartenders don't get into gangs. The bartenders are gangs. What are they going to use their wine key?
Yeah.
The flip-flops. They beat you with their flip-flops. Yeah. The flip-flops. The Canadian gang, they got their deep red burns on.
Yes.
They got they got the kids. All the kids are burned. About Canadian tourists.
Yeah.
They bring their kids. They always put their kids out in the sun for a little while. They got to bake them. Something up there, they don't have a problem with skin cancer up in Canada.
No.
Well, they never see the sun.
Yeah, I know. And they don't give a shit. They could care less. And when they get burnt, I would be in bed for like 2 days.
It's not as intense up there. I mean,
no, when they come down here.
Yes, but when they come down
here. And they get burnt and they don't give a shit.
I will tell you, in Minneapolis, I have never had to use sunscreen. And it gets hot up there and you get lots of sun up there for a few months out of the year. But I've never had to use sunscreen up there, but I've had to use it down here.
I got burnt in Philly a couple times, but the beach was the New Jersey shore I got down here. First time my sister and I, when my mom moved to Tampa, we went to St. Petersburg. My sister goes, I brought baby oil with iodine.
Oh.
What the fuck's the iodine for? It should have been afterwards because of all we had sun blisters.
Yes.
And I looked like a leper.
Yes.
I look a leper. It's actually the sweat underneath the dead skin, and you start getting boils over your face.
Oh, the worst.
It's just like 2 layers of skin with sweat on the trap, and you're trying to talk to someone. You got
I'm a dark-skinned white person, right? Mm-hmm. I have my Lebanese mommy. Hi, FG. But when my mom and I came down here, we kayaked our faces off all through Isla Mirada. Beautiful, beautiful water.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, up north, when you're kayaking and it's hot, you just splash water on yourself, cool yourself down,
mm-hmm.
just keep going. And we had no idea how intense the sun was down here. And it's not only, beating down on you the entire time, but it's also reflecting right off the water. And then you were using salt water to cool yourself down, which just magnifies it even more. Yeah. And we were covered in blisters the next day.
Saltwater's horrible for that.
It was crazy. Yeah. And you could literally scratch your fingernails down your shoulders and you could feel them all pop. It was so gross. Right. Awful.
You could torture. You get someone, you want to torture them and you don't want to kill them. Tie them up, cover up the places you don't want to get them burnt. Just bare their ass.
Ooh.
Leave it up there. Just leave it pointing up there 8 hours maybe.
That would be just one big blister.
Yeah, right on their ass.
Right.
And it'd be pointed, and they could probably
sleeping, sitting, shitting.
Yeah, you couldn't sleep.
And they may not. And if they were really shy, they couldn't really tell anybody. It's like beating someone with a pillowcase full of oranges. You never heard of that?
Of course, that's from
pillowcase and oranges.
Or soap bars, and that's from Full Metal Jacket.
That's from Full Metal Jacket, but the soap bars will leave you major contusions on your body. The oranges cause more internal damage, and you don't see as much damage on there, but it breaks up your inside. That's like that's a mob thing.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's a mob thing. You don't want to and you know what? Don't beat anybody with a pillowcase full of oranges.
No, please don't do that.
No, maybe.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, at least use coconuts or bars of soap.
Coconuts. That would fucking kill somebody.
Well, then you'd at least be able to identify what the objects were by the bruises left behind.
Oh, that was one of the bizarre injuries at the emergency room. At some guy had his hand. He nearly cut off his finger. Had to be reattached because he was taking a hatchet to a coconut. Yeah, to open up to get to the milk. And it turned out that it was like too green anyway. He was trying to smash them.
Those coconuts are a pain in the butt.
Yeah. You see these Jamaican guys come in, man. They come in with their machetes and stuff like that. Chop, chop, chop. Here's your milk.
It always makes me think of Castaway and the this ice skates. He uses the ice skates.
And you know what happens when you eat a lot of coconut milk? It's a natural.
Get the runs, right?
It's the opposite of Imodium cheese. Imodium cheese. It's if you need to loosen up, drink a lot of
coconut milk.
Coconut milk.
Well, they call it coconut water, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's coconut water.
So, where are we now? We're almost 50. We're at 50 minutes.
Are we really?
Yep.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, we did, and I wanted, since we're here, we'll talk about what we might talk about on next. I wanted
to talk about bird poop.
Did someone get hit by bird poop?
Well, I'm just really irritated at the fact that they keep pooping all over my car. And then secondly, my tiki hut, right? And so Tyler posted this thing on Facebook. I say it backwards to irritate my oldest son.
Yeah.
And
keep talking about it. I'm going to grab a beer.
Okay. Well, so they have all these like suggestions, all the things that you can do to keep the doves or the pigeons or whatever they're called out from underneath your tiki huts. And they literally will make a nest and have their eggs and their babies. Well, once they have their babies, you can't get rid of them. Then you're a jerk, right? So they're the ideas that we were given were plastic owls, right? Scares them away for some reason. Birds are scared of owls.
Yeah.
And then there was another one that said, like, put the screws in the top and then run fishing line across because then they can't stand on the fishing line. But they're still pooping all over my bar and all over everything under my tiki hut, and I don't know what to do.
You got to put some fucking cats up there.
I'm allergic to cats.
Oh, allergic to cats.
I don't want any cats. So I would like to talk about bird poop and how irritating it is, and why can't they just go find their own?
I think that's called guana, right? Because bats.
Bat.
But isn't guana all the shit?
Guana.
Isn't it shit from a?
You're thinking of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
It's all pet. It's only bat is guana.
I think it is.
That's actually good. You can actually make explosives from that.
I don't want to make explosives from the poop. I just want the poop.
They just gather it. You can when you separate it.
You could rig the fishing line tied between the nails to some type of an igniter that would light a firecracker.
But
every time they landed on the string.
It's true.
How about a type of a scarecrow, like with a wind chime?
To freak them out.
Yeah, like owls. They don't like owls. Because they're predators.
Right, because an owl is the dominant bird.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to try the owls. I'm going to start with owls. We did the fishing line thing. That doesn't work.
Also,
otherwise, people do spikes.
According to the Stephen King book, Bag of Bones, the owls also scare away evil spirits. And it's a Native American. I think it's a Native American.
Just
thing.
like your
my orb?
gazing ball. It's not an orb.
It's a silver orb.
We Googled it. It's not an orb.
It's not an orb?
It's a gazing ball. And gazing balls were used in medieval times to keep the witches away because from any direction that they came, they're scared of their own ugly faces. So they wouldn't come near your house if you had a gazing ball out front.
Is that what it's for?
Remember, we went over this in episode
I didn't know. I didn't even really pay attention.
12 or something.
I guess I didn't pay attention.
You weren't listening. I Googled it. You talked about orbs, but orbs are just lights in the sky. And they have different colors that mean different things. Like one's an angel, one's your spirit, one's everything else. But
you know what? I'm going to start my own thing. That's going to be my conjuring orb.
What are you conjuring?
Like genies, minor spirits, demons that would do my bidding. I could send them out after customers that walk out on a bill. Maybe Skater Douche.
Moby Douche.
I think you should conjure something that gets rid of the birds.
I love birds.
I don't want them in
I don't birds. They shouldn't come to your tea cats. You know what? I bet there's a Native American. I bet there's a Native American.
It's got some weird trick to it.
No, yeah. I mean, you ever hear? Well, when I first came down, I see these bags of water with pennies in them.
Yeah, that's for the mosquitoes.
For flies.
Oh, really? I thought it was mosquitoes.
For flies. And someone said, and they go, well, what's it? What? And they when they fill them up the first time. We used to have them at the Encore. You used to always have these.
Right.
This time of year, a couple months from now, there would be flies all in their patio, all over the place.
But this is actually like bags of water that dangle from like an awning.
They're
not on the ground. They're
no, you're back. Yeah,
right.
You just hang a stack
so
of
the
water.
Listeners know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they would there was speculation was the moisture in the air would make them think that it's raining because it would raise the humidity levels nearby. I don't know why the penny in it would do anything particularly more to it, but there could have been some reaction to it. But these Jamaican guys did it. The Jamaicans did it. And they also said for mosquitoes, you eat a lot of citrus. They don't like high, whatever chemical that gets into your bloodstream and keeps mosquitoes from
I heard that with mosquitoes and garlic.
Oh, yeah, I heard that too.
And vampires.
And vampires.
Yep. And women.
Yes.
All types of women. If you don't want, or anybody really, to come up there, eat a shitload of garlic. Mm-hmm. No one will bother you. Well, not those fucking weirdos that come into our place. And we were trying to realize how to chase them out. And I went, the other day, I went to Arthur's Kitchen. We had, last night.
Okay.
We ate there. It was beautiful. You know what they didn't have in there? It's a VFW that they made into a nice restaurant. It was pretty good. The jerk chicken was a little spicy for me. I had jerk before. There's a lot of spice on it, but really good. They didn't have any of those knuckleheads that would come in for $3 drinks and $2 drafts because all the prices are bumped up. And where did they go? The next place down the road.
Oh.
The Catch. They're coming in, and we don't want to be the one to chase them away. But what do you do?
Right.
Because when they come in, they sit next to you and have someone in. You know what? There's a lot of people that come in and they don't smell too good. You got guys that work all day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And rough jobs, real rough jobs, like fish on a fishing boat. Well,
I expect those guys to smell fishy.
Yes.
I do expect that.
And there are people that come off fishing boats that come in to eat too.
Right.
And they were handling fish all day and they smell. But if you start talking about crazy shit, how, you know, they tell you they piss wine and shit gold at the bar, then the bar gets cleared. And you can't have that.
I'm tolerant of the fishy smelling things. I'm even tolerant of like the blood on their shirts from having to bleed a tuna on the boat. Like, I get that. But if you got BO, I mean, you got in your car and you drove over here, just keep a stick of that stuff in there.
I get massive BO sometimes when I'm after my spin class and I decide to run a couple errands and I wear the Under Armour, right?
Yeah.
That fitness garb, and you dry off and you sweat again. That's the secret. That creates amazing BO. And not a good amazing. It's just...
It's just like festering bacteria.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. And Abby says my clothes, they're done. You can't, once they're bad, you can't use them again. She insists that it's attached itself. Like that Seinfeld episode with
with the car.
The car.
Yeah.
She said it attached myself to my clothes, and I'm not as normally. I don't think I am a smelling. But if I notice it, then I notice the smell. It's not always there. If it was there all the time, I wouldn't notice it.
I think we just need to get you some antimicrobial, laundry soap.
I think maybe I'll just get, if they had a spray made of menin, and I could just spray with that menin stick.
Just spray it
all over coat it all over my body.
Take a bath in it.
Jump in a big vat of that gel and just coat myself with it.
Though I will say that body odor is difficult to tolerate, but I think the worst thing ever is like bacterial bad breath. Like, there's a difference between somebody who had like a cup of coffee and a cigarette.
It's called halitosis.
Yes. Oh my God. I mean, no matter how much those people brush their teeth, rinse with Listerine,
you know what? 100 years ago,
scrub
though,
their tongues.
100 years ago, people were much more tolerant and accepting of that.
Well, it was a little more normal. The hygiene wasn't the standard that it is today.
Well, of course.
Supposedly, they
because they used to
say
throw the
a
baby
lot
out
of
in
stuff.
the
I have a
bathwater.
friend who says, you know, we bathe too often. I said, well, you don't want to be the guy to buck that system and still be out in the workforce. You know what I mean? If you're trying to if that's going to be your big issue, and you say, well, I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? People take too many baths and shower too much. You don't want to be that guy, that one guy that smelly Al that comes in and says, and that's your description. You know, I could be tall Jim. In a group of younger Jims, I could be old Jim. I can also be the smart Jim sometimes, or the dumb Jim if there's smarter Jims around. And stuff like that. But I don't want to be the smelly Jim. That's the one that's smelly Jim. You don't want to be, well, have you ever been around another Damon?
There aren't a whole lot of Damons.
No, there isn't.
But there's actually a Damon was the brother of my soccer coach.
No, but you know what? But the nice thing about it, no one has to use any other descriptive to describe you and just say, "Oh, Damon." There's only Damon.
Well, Damien.
Damien. Well, I know two Damiens. The manager up here and my buddy, a bartender up in Philadelphia, but rarely run into that. And the guy from
maybe we
the
should
Omen.
do a pet peeves episode.
Yeah. We really.
I think it's great having a name that's unique, and it's
I
not
do too. But when people
your name
pronounce
isn't
it,
your name is not. There's no negative connotation to it.
no, there is. And
What,
I read
Matt
it in
Damon?
the baby book, actually, at Publix online one day. So Damien is the more common name. So I found this baby book. My mom was checking out at Publix. I was, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there. So I'm like, oh, baby names. So I look it up. I'm like, I wonder if my name's in here because it's unique.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the D's, and of course I find Damien. And it says son of the devil in the baby name book.
Really?
Yes. So then I keep scrolling down because mine is Damon instead of IEN. So I go down and Damon is in there. And it says Damien's child.
Hey, just so you know, this is on the same thing. That is not necessarily a negative thing.
You're the
At Sundance,
of the devil.
at Sundance,
a lot.
Sundance this year, there's a documentary just released. It was called Hail Satan, and it's about the satanic movement. And they're not really bad people.
Humanists.
Yeah, they're humanists. They're humanists. They're not. I mean, no one. Imagine you're picking. If you're going to worship evil, they're not worshiping evil. They're worshiping someone that's a disruptor.
Yeah.
I think the ultimate disruptor. I'm not ready to switch over to that. You know, I'm still Roman. I mean, I explain my. Did you ever hear my theory about people say, how can you say shit about the Catholic Church and you still go to church? I say, well, if they're not going to be kicking out any of these priests and excommunicating them, what the fuck are they going to do to me? I didn't abuse anybody. So you got to just let me roll along, Pope Francis. I mean, just do your job. Maybe allow the nuns to say mass. Allow the priest and the nuns to get married. Say, hey, well, he did say it was all right. I think that same-sex marriage, that should be cool. And you know what? Just go real hard at the things you shouldn't do, like don't abuse kids.
Yeah, that's
or go on a crusade and just invade a country and kill a bunch of people that don't believe what you believe.
So I was always like Jenna, right?
Yeah. That wasn't political. That was more historical.
I was little Jen.
Little
Jenna. I've always been.
I was little Jim around my
Jim?
dad because I was, but I'm the largest Jim in my family.
Yeah, but there's lots of Jims. So of course, if somebody knows 4 Jims, then what do they call you? Because you're not Smelly Jim.
I'm not. I was little Jim for years.
Yeah, but I've always been.
And I wasn't walking around with my weenie out or anything like that. So they weren't making a judgment there. Because we're Catholic. We don't go and do that. We don't walk around with a penis.
Well, there's like Joe. Joe has a very common name. So like,
I mentioned penis, and you do not want to pursue this conversation.
I don't want to talk about politics or religion.
I said penis.
No, we were talking about that.
I mentioned penis and you went right the other way. You know?
Okay, Jim, talk about penis for a
I'm done talking about it.
Really? Are you sure? Because I was just mentioning the meme earlier before we started the podcast that I saw today that said, if size doesn't really matter, then why don't they make 3-inch dildos?
They do. They make those little bullets. They're called a rabbit, right? They make the little tiny ones. The ones they put in. Because you don't have to get the G-spot. You only have to excite these.
Have you seen the
jackrabbits and all that stuff? Bullets. I think they call them bullets.
Yeah,
there's a remote control.
There's a remote controlled one. You can pair it with your.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, Bluetooth.
You can Bluetooth to your dildo?
Yes. So
why not? Why do it make sense?
Off at any point during the day.
That is the next logical step you do with that technology.
Okay.
It's stupid if they don't.
Guys, it's,
be stupid if you don't control with your phone.
All you'll need with that is to add an Alexa.
Yeah.
Alexa, please turn on the dildo.
Vibrate the dildo. Alexa,
5 seconds.
slow it
vibration.
down. 500 megahertz. Oh, I'm going into outer space. Oh, you hit the spot. Thank you, Alexa. 10% higher. Whoa.
And you wonder why Abby is concerned about your Alexa.
Well, wait. That would be the.
And we got him. Good one, Damon.
Yeah, I guess you would be. Yeah. Well, on that, we're at an hour and 5 minutes.
We went over.
No, we have no set time.
That's very true.
We have no set time. An hour and 5 minutes. But if we were doing this on Tuesday, we would. We do all our shows live.
We do every show
live. But if
live.
we did 2 in a day, we would break that down a little lower. You don't need to know whether it's live or not. You don't care.
No.
You know, if let's say one of these ocean-going crocodiles come in, and they started chewing on my leg. I was going to pick someone here, but I'd say here they just clamped down, started dragging me in. That would be an exciting podcast, wouldn't it? We had to fight off a crocodile.
I've never seen a crocodile in this canal.
I think there's no reason why there can't be one, right?
They're very
I think it'd be more interesting with the land crab and the knife in its claw.
I told you that knifey crab. You saw a knifey crab?
Oh, Jenna, did you ever send him Deets nuts?
I did
Deets nuts. I saw Deets nuts.
Yes.
Deets nuts. It's Craig Robinson.
Although that was really funny
it's
too.
Deets and Watson. It's Deets and Watson.
Deets and Watson.
Yeah, it's Deets and Watson.
Deets and Watson. From last
Deets nuts.
So Shannon, one of our other coworkers, went into our boss's office today with a big thing of trail mix, and Neil, our boss, was like, "No, I don't want your nuts. Get out of here. Take your nuts out of my office."
What, these nuts?
and of course, Shannon leaves him 2 almonds on his desk, and he's just like, "I'm just going to leave you both my big nuts." And he walked out. Well, Neil did not even pay attention. He had no idea. And it was about 2 hours later. I walked back in there, and Neil goes, "Why are those nuts on my desk?" I was like, "You mean Deets nuts?"
Oh.
It was great.
Okay, you know what? Since we went over on this, 2 stories. When I was in catering, one of our chefs was leaving us, and on the last day, he was moving into a restaurant. He already got his job, and we were serving the head table, and it was a buffet, but we would take care of the head table and the family tables, and one of the sides was, it's in Philadelphia, so, different, the meatballs and sausage, right? And he laid them out. We didn't notice until we put out the first 10. Just think about it. You had the sausage, and he put the meatballs on it, and it looked like a dick and balls. They put it out. We put out like 10 of them like that, right on the table. And I don't recall if someone at the table noticed it or we noticed it in the kitchen, because they were probably more concentrated. Most of the people didn't eat their exercise. We give them a main dish like steamship roast beef, and then we give them sides. You want some meatball and sausage, and they, somebody started seeing the dicks. Well, the same guy, a year before, we were reading about the University of Maine hockey team, and the University of Maine hockey team had their whole program suspended because of a hazing incident. And we were reading this the article about it, and they did a whole bunch of things, and one of them was making them do an elephant walk throughout the room, an elephant walk in a chain, where the one guy was up front, and the guy behind him would grab his balls and hold on to his balls, and then grab the guy behind him, I guess, and walk an elephant walk in a chain with the freshmen. And then they'd be forced to eat, this was an article, forced to eat fish pie until they got sick. And the thing that got on some aides would go, what the fuck is a fish pie? We didn't have a big thing about walking as an elephant walk. Oh, that sounds like something perfectly normal to haze somebody, a bunch of guys. But the fish pie, we said, what the fuck is a fish pie? And when I got married, I had my wedding there, and the guy was still working there, and he made a fish pie for me with a fucking mackerel coming out from the middle of it. I didn't eat it, though. It looked disgusting. It wasn't even skinned, like a tiny little mackerel or something like that, or smelt. So we talked about dick balls. Vibrating
dick balls and fish pie.
Yeah, Alexa controlling vibrating dildos, and then you got vibrating dildo, butt plugs, cock rings, nipple clips.
Ow!
I think some women may. I guess no. I don't even know if that's what they probably.
I would just think that would be unnecessarily painful.
Nipple clips.
Nipple clips. Ow!
Some women like that. They sell nipple clips, right?
Well, I mean, they sell a lot of things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's comfortable.
I mean, somebody likes it.
Somebody likes it every so often.
You know, it's probably the freaky moms that were able to nurse, and then they have leather nipples.
Or the hijacker.
Ball clamps.
Ball clamps? They have ball clamps?
I
thought you were going to say ball gag.
I assume there's ball clamps out there. Nipple clips. I know there's nipple clips. And
cock rings.
Cock rings.
You know, if they would have let us host an episode at the Dirty Store, we would have been able to see all of those things live, and just.
They don't have. I don't think they have nipple clips, but they do have. They
how do you know? Did you go in there?
Room?
Yeah.
Behind the curtain.
No, you had the pocket pussy. You had the dildos, the jackrabbit, the silver bullet thing, the little vibrating thing that women put. What?
She can't handle these things.
I can't. Well, no, it's because David had a conversation with me about pocket pussies one time, and
I know. And then you had the retro blow up dolls, and then you had the more advanced ones, more latex,
right? Like and, Hans,
real
Hans. Was it Hans? Lars
and the real girl. Yeah, real. That's the high tech one.
Yeah,
but it's amazing what they do with technology, and then they turn it into something filthy, you know. So, what do you? You can't handle it?
It's because, David, you just have to explain it so that I don't have to.
What?
About the pocket pussy.
We've talked about a lot of stuff. I don't.
It looks like a large dildo on the outside, right? Because the shapes to go around your penis.
You're talking about the fleshlight?
Yes.
Oh, the fleshlight.
Yes.
Oh, I see the fleshlight.
You can't keep that thing in your pocket. It's bigger than a Yeti 30.
No, but I mean, I get a fleshlight. It could look like a flashlight.
Well, that's what they built it was, so it would look like a mag light, so your wife wouldn't know what
yeah, you just open it up, and you can see the wife going, hey, grab the flashlight, and she goes, oh, it needs batteries. What the fuck is this?
Oh, give me that. I'll go put batteries in that.
David was describing...
That's what you're doing in the room all that time.
So David was describing purchasing one to one of my sons who's like 22. And David just told him to make sure that he got the one that was a butthole instead of...
Well, they make them in different sizes. They have them tight and loose and extra lip.
No, it's just where it's out.
It's really amazing. I don't know who casts these things, but
there's actually somebody's butthole that they use for like a.
They do
they do vaginas. Jenna Jameson has her whole vagina cast and all that.
You can actually there is now. It's I don't remember the exact name of it. But you can get
the butthole chocolates.
They have butthole chocolates.
They do have butthole chocolates.
They do. I actually just saw that on Facebook.
For butthole pleasures. Remember that from 40-Year-Old Virgin?
You can cast a mold of your own member.
Yeah. They make their own dildos and all that stuff.
Right, but you can make it off of your own
asshole or body part.
Whatever body part you wanted to.
No, just like you would someone's face. Of course you
right.
Could.
So now
I'm sure they've been doing that for years. You know,
there's also companies that do chocolate molds of those body features.
I saw buttholes. I saw chocolate buttholes.
Yeah, and that's like, okay. Sure, you want to do that in your bedroom on your own time? Awesome. But, hey, it's the middle of the day and I'm at work. Let me have a chocolate asshole from my spouse.
I'd imagine you go like this. This tastes like shit. How much like my
boss,
spouse's
hey,
butthole.
what you in there? Let me have one of those.
Wait, there's a little hair in it? Okay. We descended into the bottom.
No, they take a silicone
I hope
mold
the older listeners.
But it would be funny as hell.
Yeah.
I have certain people within certain departments of our.
You can have all sorts. You got different flavors. You have bleached butthole, cheesy butthole,
it's white chocolate.
White chocolate.
Like the white chocolate bleached butthole.
Bleached
Can you
butthole.
imagine unwrapping Dove when you just want to treat for yourself?
Hairy
Dove,
bunghole.
and you like unwrap the butthole and bite a piece of the chocolate butthole. I'm sorry, this is making me hysterical because it's so embarrassing.
It's not your butthole.
It is not my butthole.
Okay. It's 8:30 now. We got an hour and 14 minutes. Thank you, folks, for listening. We need to get more.
We need more reviews.
More reviews. Leave us reviews on whatever listening
apparatus.
Not apparatus or platform that you're on. Whether it's iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, Spreaker, Overcast.
Don't
Downcast.
forget, all you have to do is go to Google and just type in Keys Bartender, and it pops up every single...
They're listening.
They are, but remember we talked about this last time. If they want to tell their friends and want to tell somebody else, how is it going to work for them? How are they going to be able to find us? They can go right to Google.
Or write a letter
and they can
mail it to us with a stamp.
They can choose whichever platform works best for their phone, for whatever.
And you know what? If you do a search... you could probably. I'm going to put in one of the tags. I'll put butthole chocolates.
This is butthole
Everyone
chocolates.
search. You get it. Butthole chocolates. We may show up. There's probably about 20 listings for those.
I really wonder if a lot of people gave those for like Valentine's Day gifts this year. Like, dude, go get a mold.
Oh, tomorrow's International Women's Day.
Did they mail you
I
gotta
remember to do that for
thing?
the wife. International Women's Day.
Tomorrow's International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Okay. Let's do the sign. Let's get the music while we have our buttholes about us. Sign off. Yes.
This is Julie. Hey, calendar, what's my morning like? Julie's about to have a long day.
At 9 a.m., soccer carpool. 9:10, purchase birthday card. 9:05, dry cleaning.
Did you just go backwards?
I'm sorry, I can't fit that question into your schedule. 9:15, cry for a little bit.
For days that won't end, let Schwann's help. With Schwann's, you can get delicious meals that go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours. Ordered, delivered, done. That's homemade easy. Visit today at schwanns.com. After a long day of being pulled in every direction, the last thing anyone wants to think about is, what's for dinner? That's where Schwann's can help, with a variety of real food choices, frozen to lock in freshness. From ready-made meals, premium meats and side dishes, to vegetables, ice cream, and more. Schwann's foods go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours, so you can pull off a delicious meal in no time at all. Ordered, delivered, done. That's homemade easy. To help simplify mealtime, visit schwanns.com.